Hello, my name is Ben Karsten. I'm here from Maxcess Technical Services to talk about the Tidland ESP and particularly the decoder package. Over 20 years, we've learned a lot about the original unit. Number one, if you look at the unit, the complexity of this, from the circuit boards to the pneumatics, the connections, there was a lot of components on this and potential failure points. We through the years have talked to customers and worked with customers, and while we've made additions to the units with the retainer clips and then things of that nature, there were failure points that we had feedback from customers. These transition barbs here, they would crack, pop off. Same with these would crack and start leaking. The hoses, the connections to the pressure switches here, these pressure switches would crack, causing the cap to leak around the edge of the cap. The solenoid valves, they generated so much heat because of the design, it would cause failure points on the board, it would cause resistor packs to heat up, and just the sheer power or amperage used by this component caused the unit to fail over time. So if you look at the overall of this unit, there was a lot of components that we identified that our customers were calling us and saying, we had problems with this leaking. Where do you think it was leaking? Well, it's the transition barbs. They were cracked, or this would pop off. Okay, so this is a new unit. Number one, it is plug and play. This replaces the original decoder package without any changes. The dip switches that everybody was familiar with are still on this unit. You can see the dip switches there for addressing. Power cable is still the same, so this unit mounts up and works the same as the original unit. The huge differences are obvious by the visual look of it, but also the ease of troubleshooting and working on the unit. We have everything labeled for you to identify different components. The valves, all of them are labeled on this end, as well as you notice on the valves, they are now a static or surface mount valve. No more hoses, no more transition barbs. The componentry, no soldered joints. We have cables that are plug and play. You can change individual valves, individual components on this unit. The pressure switches, again, no soldered joints, individually labeled. You can remove and replace each unit. Down to plugging in the hoses on the unit, if you put the guard on there, you can see that we've identified which hose goes to which quick disconnect on the unit. I think we've thought of everything on this new unit to make it easy for the customer and to get rid of the proprietariness of the original unit. If you look at the componentry on the circuit board, you remove these connectors and access the inside of the circuit board. You can see the simplistic design on the circuit board. Number one, there's not as many failure points, but the other thing is the original unit used twice the amount of power as this, or this one uses half the amount of power of the original unit. The encoder head, same original design, but once you upgrade your entire system and integrate these units into your entire system, you can go to a magnetic reader head, which is an additional upgrade as well. So once you have your system completely integrated with the new decoder package, another optional upgrade is to get away from the rack and pinion design and go to a completely absolute encoder package, which is a magnetic reader head. The update inside the channel will be a standard update using existing components, and this, as you can see with the new decoder package, you take and remove the original decoder head and replace it with this magnetic reader head on all the units. Dip switches, addressing is still the same, power supply, valves, all the other components are still the same. It's just a matter of unplugging one unit and plugging in the new unit, and your system is upgraded. If you have any questions, give me a call.